The Murderous Circus, written by CursedMidnightRose. There's an old broken place in the woods, not far from here, where old memories hide, where you can no more hear the excited pitter-patter of feet and joyous laughter of children, no more hear the loud gasps of awe coming from an audience in tall sets of stands, no more hear the lion's roar or elephant's trumpet, no more hear the booming voice of a ringmaster announcing one final act, and no more hear the screams of adults and minors alike as they get stabbed in the back. The place was new once, with sparkling metal walls around the sand circle in the middle, freshly painted clown faces welcoming you in. I was there exactly 1 year ago today, just to get out with some of my friends. We saw long, waxy signs for Frau Craig's Blood Moon Circus, and we knew we had to go. It sounded fun. Dear God, how we were wrong. The circus wasn't far from my house, so our parents let us go, assuming we would only be gone for about 2 hours. It was cold outside, so we had worn thick sweaters. I wore my favorite one that night. It said NASA on the front, and on the back it said, "I need my space," with a black and white solar system, and my curly brown hair was tied up in a messy bun. My friend Addison wore a white one, with vibrant blue paint splatters all over it, and her short-cut red hair was hanging down just below her shoulders. Sasha wore a multicolored sweater with a gold S on the back, and her small black cornrows braids were neatly placed around her head. Maddie wore a yellow and red sweatshirt with her school name on the front, and her long blonde hair was up in a tight ponytail. And Annalyn, she was the worst of all. She wore a plain dark red sweatshirt, and her hair was in a pixie cut that was a bit messy. Her shirt would hide the stains. The location was a bit far off into the woods, about a mile from an empty lot and an old abandoned grocery store, so we had to walk, regardless if my mother drove us or not. Our parents probably shouldn't have let us go. We were only 10 or 11 years old, but we were always begging for more freedom. And so, after meeting up at my house, we began our walk. The directions to get there said that there should be a dirt path, but we didn't see anything, so we just kept walking south, where the circus should be. Annalyn, Sasha, and Addison took out their phones, they were the only ones that had them, and began trying to find the path on a GPS, but found nothing. So we just kept walking, pushing our way through branches and watching for snakes. They were very prone to our town. Eventually, we found the sparkling red and white walls and the line of people to get in, holding their tickets. We got in line and waited about 5 minutes until we were ready to hand ours in. Addison took them out of her phone case and handed them to the man at the booth, who gladly took them and waved us inside with a small smile. "I'm so excited," Sasha exclaimed. She always liked childish things like this. "About what?" "I, for one, just want some of that delicious popcorn over there," Annalyn put in. Food, her first love. But I have to admit, it did look good. We all laughed, and Maddie and I went with her to get some, while Addison and Sasha went to go find our seats. While in line for the food, I noticed something that I really should have paid more attention to. A knife, sticking out of a clown's waistband. And stupidly, I waved it off as a knife-throwing trick or something. After we got our buckets, we saw the 2 girls waving us over to the seats farthest from the exit, on the front row. We ran over, dodging arms, legs, and cotton candy fluffs. As soon as we sat down, the ringmaster came out. "Ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've been waiting for, I welcome you to Frau Craig's Blood Moon Circus." Applause erupted around the stands, with people whistling and children giggling. He walked over to our part of the ring and stopped in front of us. "I am Frau Craig, at your service," he said, producing a bouquet of orange carnations from the inner part of his sleeve and handing it to Addison. "Matches your hair, milady." Addison laughed and gave us each a flower. I stuck mine in my bun at the top of my head. Maddie tucked hers behind her ear. Sasha put hers in a secret side pocket on her cowgirl boot, and Annalyn displayed hers in a breast pocket on her shirt. The circus went on for about an hour, everybody laughing at clowns, or gasping at lions in the fire ring jumps. Each performance was better than the last, and then came the final act. The ringmaster came out once more with his head tilted down at the ground. Folks, thank you all for coming out tonight, and now it's time for the real show to begin. He lifted his head up, revealing nightmare-worthy smeared Joker-like makeup. He lifted his white shirt and revealed a set of sharp weapons. I don't even know how to describe them. I jumped up onto the stands, and screams started echoing through the place. By this time, my friends and I were out of our seats and on the ground, looking for a way out that didn't cross paths with the psychopath of a ringmaster. You know, orange carnations are the flowers of death. Two voices spoke in unison behind us. We turned, and there were two clowns holding hands behind us, and in their free hands, they were holding knives. My friends and I shot up off the ground and took off running through the aisles, careful to stay away from the ringmaster. Annalyn tripped. She fell onto a woman on the ground. Her eyes were rolled up in her head. Annalyn got up and looked down. We finally understood what was going on. This was not a fun, scary act. This ringmaster, this whole thing, was just a setup to get people to come and die. We took off again, screams echoing around, laughs of pleasure coming from the circus performers, but we didn't stop running, not even looking back. We pushed the metal doors open and shut them behind us, but didn't lock them. It might seem like a stupid thing to do, considering there are murderers inside, but if others can escape, we didn't want to prevent them from doing so, and besides, if the performers wanted to get out, they have the key. We ran and ran, pushing branches out of our way, not caring if thorns stuck our legs. We wouldn't stop until we got into my backyard. When we got there, we sat in the darkest corner of it and examined ourselves. Annalyn had barely visible blood splattered across the front of her shirt and a smushed carnation plastered on top. Addison had a few speckles of red on the white part of her shirt. She had left the bouquet behind. Maddie had stained red spots all across the bottoms of her jeans from running and splashing pools of blood. Sasha was clean. I had a red splash at the bottom of my jeans, but other than that, I was fine. The lights were off in my house, and we had Sasha check the time. 10:41. Too late for any of our parents to be up, and too late for any one of us to walk home. But considering what we had just seen, we weren't going anywhere anyway. I had given my house key to Annalyn before we went to the circus, so I asked her to take it out. She did, handed it to me, and I unlocked the back door. We took off our shoes in front and locked the doors behind us. We then went around shutting all the blinds and double-checking the locks on the windows and doors. The sound of commotion downstairs woke my cat up, and she came downstairs to see 5 bloody children standing in the living room. Maddie bent down and patted her head. "Do you have any clothes here, Kayla?" Maddie asked. "Yeah, we shouldn't stay in these any longer," Sasha added. I nodded and shushed them. I want to explain everything to my mom in the morning when we were less shaken. We tiptoed upstairs to my bedroom and opened the door. I opened my closet and took out a tank top and shorts for Addison, a t-shirt and shorts for Annalyn, long soft pants and shirt for Sasha and Maddie, and a tank top and shorts for myself. We went back downstairs to change and put our clothes in separate plastic bags, and the carnations in their own. We turned on the TV and decided to watch something childish like Little Einstein. We did not need to be watching some crime TV show. We stayed up most of the night talking about our experience. It was mostly crying and shaking. We went to the police in the morning. My mom called Addison, Maddie, Sasha, and Annalyn's parents, and with 2 long months of investigation, the culprits were never found. But the bodies were, and so was the setup. They said it looked like they just up and left. There were 3 other survivors other than us, 2 little girls, and one 20-year-old male. Everyone else perished. I still see those terrified faces in my nightmares, and I'm sure the others are the same. And a word of warning: be careful. Remember, the culprits were never found.